this survey, I asked a total of 8 people, 4 females and 4 males, an age range of 15 to 25 years old, a series of questions designed to tell me what their basic impressions of my magazine were, and whether it was, ultimately, successful as a finished product. I conducted this survey through the site SurveyMonkey, both to make it easier to access and more anonymous for those being surveyed, so I didn't feel pressured to give biased answers, and asked these questions. 1. From first glance, what genre of music do you think my magazine represents? 2. Which parts of the front cover particularly capture your attention? 3. What social group do you think is being represented? For which I gave the options emo, goth, punk, hipster and casual rock. As a member of my target audience, ages 15 to 25, do you feel this magazine addresses you successfully? 5. If you saw this product on the shelves, would you purchase it and why? 6. Overall, do you feel this product represents this genre successfully and or accurately? And 7. Finally, please leave any suggestions for improvements in the response box below. For example, in terms of design, layout, colour scheme, article features, etc. The responses I got to these questions were broadly positive, and I got quite a few responses that went more in-depth in terms of feedback and suggestions for improvement, which I found very helpful. Question 1 was, from a first glance, what genre of music do you think my magazine represents? I asked this question so I could get an idea of what general impression my magazine gives, and whether it represents my chosen genre of rock and metal effectively. As you can see from the chart, the vast majority, around 80% in fact, answered rock, along with 2 out of 8 people answering metal, punk and alternative, as I made this question allow you to select more than one option. This is a very good result because it shows that the magazine as a whole represents rock, and that the front cover gives off this vibe. Question 2 was, which parts of the front cover particularly capture your attention? This question also allowed people to give multiple answers, and I knew that with magazines it's often not one sole feature that influences you to buy it, it may be a combination of different factors. Almost everyone who took the survey included the main image as one of these factors, and 7 out of 8 gave this response. As well as this, 50% answered masthead, and 1 out of 8 also said that the tagline, skyline, / banner and the main storyline caught their attention. This shows that overall, the parts of the front cover that were the most attention-grabbing were the main image and masthead. This is a positive result, as this is what I aimed for when constructing the magazine. In my main image, I had the person in the front looking directly at the camera as a form of direct address to make it more engaging, and in my masthead, I made sure to stylize it to give the magazine a defined brand. I did this by adding scratches and cracks to connote the aggressive style of rock and metal music. Question 3 was, what social group do you think is being represented? In this question I again gave the option to select multiple answers. The response I got on this was perhaps the most powerful, as 100% of the people asked to complete this survey thought the social group the magazine represents is casual rock. The fact that everyone thought the social group represented was casual rock shows how the magazine's representation of this group has been very successful, as they are able to tell presumably from the costume and makeup of my main image models and by the style of the storylines. Question 4 was, as a member of my target audience, ages 15 to 25, do you feel that this magazine addresses you successfully? In this question, 5 out of 8 agreed that my magazine addressed them, as members of my target audience, successfully. A further 2 out of 8 answered mostly, and the remaining 1 answered somewhat. This was positive because at varying degrees all said that the magazine targets them successfully or in some way. To give me more of an idea of why this is, I gave the option of an extra response box. These are the responses I got. As you can see from the chart, most said that it targets them through some form of being relatable and or relevant to their tastes. This is very helpful information for me, as it tells me how it addresses them from their point of view, rather than just what I'm trying to achieve, while letting me know what conventions were conveyed effectively. Question 5 was, if you saw this product on the shelves, would you purchase it and why? When I asked if they would purchase the product if they saw it on the shelves, 37.5% said yes, 50% said maybe, and 12.5% said no. I added an extra response box so I could get an expansion on these answers and find out what in particular would influence this choice. I got a variety of answers, simply yes because I love this music genre, to more in-depth answers such as maybe because I tend to buy more lifestyle mags but I like the strong posts of Free Girls, which would appeal to female readers and made me pay attention. These in-depth answers were very helpful as it tells me that I have appealed to my audience relatively successfully, with the majority of them saying they would at least consider my magazine as a potential purchase choice. So question 6 was, overall, do you feel this product represents its genre successfully and or accurately? Fortunately, nobody answered with not at all in this question, which tells me that my magazine represents rock and metal, at least to a degree. Half of them answered yes, with the remaining half answering mostly and somewhat. Again, as with previous questions, I included an extra response box so I could find out what it was specifically that gave them this impression. The answer I was most pleased with was, it looks like it knows the subject well and is an authoritative source, something that readers want to be part of. This tells me that my attempt to establish a readership may be successful, as well as showing that I have achieved a professional, official look to my front cover, which is of course important for establishing such an audience, as they have to know that the source of the information for storylines is reliable, however appealing it is. A response I felt was positive was, I feel like this product represents its genre successfully because it has a similar general layout to many magazines of the same genre. The main picture is styled in a way that represents the genre well, and its masthead also looks straight out of a rock magazine. This shows me that my magazine's basic aim was achieved, and that I've appealed to my audience by following conventions that they will expect to see, such as the stylized masthead this person references. Question 7 was, finally, do you have any suggestions for improvements? I gave 2 options for this, the first being that the person answering does have something to suggest, and the other being that they don't. So half said they did. And again, there was an extra response box so they could specify these suggestions. Most of these answers were concerning design issues, a common one being regarding taglines or the lack of, and issues with font. These are all points I'll be taking into consideration because I agree that usually with magazines of rock and metal genre, there are lots of taglines surrounding the image and making it look crowded, whereas I don't have very many. So that may imply to the audience that there isn't a lot of content in the magazine and it may not be worth buying. However, if I were to do this product again, this is something that would be easily fixable by taking storylines from my contents page and adding them to the front cover. So this point doesn't impact the success of how I've appealed to my target audience a great deal. Overall, this questionnaire has given me great insights into my audience's point of view, and it's given me a lot of valuable information.